a countdown, a clap, so that I can time. I'm going 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Yeah. Here we are.
All right, welcome to the podcast that we don't have a name for yet.
The Guardian Way.
The Guardian. I don't know. That's the one thing I haven't put much thought into. I wrote down some ideas, but yeah, no, I haven't really put any thought into the official name yet because I feel like that's a meeting, of the minds.
Yeah.
And obviously we need Jason to at least approve.
I can throw 1,000 things on the wall, but only whatever they want is going to stick. So.
Right, exactly. Let's introduce ourselves first. You go first, since you're an official GVS team member.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Albert Norrising. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at Guardian Veterinary Specialists, and I also have a live karaoke band. There we go. Those are words.
And that's all he does. He does Guardian and karaoke.
I'm also a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice. I didn't realize we were going to do all that. I don't know if I have that many interesting things about me. Hi, guys. I'm Nakoma, and I am my title is not that long. I am the content creator for Guardian. I also like photography. I don't know. I guess that kind of comes... that kind of goes with the territory of being a content creator.
Whenever I register you for these conferences, I do put you as videographer extraordinaire.
That's right. So. Yeah, actually for New York Vet, when I walked up, I don't know if I even told you this. When I walked up to get registered and get my my little lanyard and ID, I was waiting. Whenever he's like clacking away looking for my name, and then he giggled, and I thought he was just giggling at my name, like, oh, Nakoma, that's a funny name. And he was like, that's a cool title. And I was like, what? Because I didn't know that you put that. And I was like, content creator? And he was like, no, it says videographer extraordinaire. And I was like, that's actually really awesome. And I knew that was you right away. I was like, nobody else would have done that.
I mean, they don't check your references, so I could put whatever I want there. It's great.
It's true, right.
Yeah.
I will go with videographer extraordinaire. I definitely do more video than photo here, even though in my business and personal life, I'm more of a photographer than video. But I'll take it. Videographer, anything extraordinaire. That sounds great.
And dancer. And
dancer.
Podcaster, Vcaster, what is the...
Vlogging.
What does the kids say these days?
Yeah, really, though. I don't even know. Does anybody even vlog anymore?
Cue the Santa Claus gif.
Yeah. I've been with Guardian for 4 years now. You've been here 2 years, right?
Almost 3, yeah.
Almost 3. And basically there was no content, essentially, in the way that I make content when I started here, and we kind of like content. Yeah, content. And we kind of just like started brainstorming and throwing ideas out, and I just started recording all these things, and now this is our next venture for Guardian, is podcasting. And obviously we're going to get the doctors and Berg and admin and execs. We're going to get everybody in here talking about all the things, I think. But
what's really cool is that we'll see, like, we'll go to these conferences like New York Vet, and people will come up to us and be like, wow, we follow your content. Your stuff is, I don't know, cutting edge isn't quite the word, but like leading.
Yeah, 2 years in a row at New York Vet.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, without knowing it was me, they didn't even say it to me, they actually just said it at the table.
Who does your guys' content?
Right.
And we're like, I don't know. I know them, but what do you got to say?
Yeah, somebody came up this year and was like, I don't know who's doing your content, but they are doing a great job, and you guys are setting a standard for the industry in content. And I was excited. Especially, I mean, for me, the biggest reason I was so excited is because, like, this Guardian was my first real client. So it's like, it's my baby. It's like, I need everything to go right here at all times, because I want it to be the best, for not just for you guys, but for me. Just, I have so much pride in it because it was my first, And so when you hear things like that, it's just like, I literally even did like a little dance right on the floor at New York Vet. I was so excited.
That's another...
I was like throwing my arms up. I was like kicking, and it was awesome. Anyway.
Pretty good dancer also, I should say.
Yeah, we keep that to my nightlife on the weekends.
I'd like to think that we are different styles of what is referred to as a Renaissance man, somebody with a lot of different interests and a lot of different skill sets, as it were.
Yeah, I call it ADHD.
Renaissance man feels better on the business card.
It does, actually, yeah. He does all the things. Yeah, and speaking of, I think it's interesting that me and you are the same exact age.
Do we look it?
Yeah. Really? Do we look? Albert definitely looks more professional and adult than I do at all times. I kept it together a little nicely today. No ripped jeans. So there's that. But we share a lot of common interests. I think that this podcast will do well because we both have different viewpoints, but we still land in the same general. We still land on the same general ideas about things. Like, even let's just actually, I wrote this down for the podcast. I think that my viewpoint is going to come from almost a consumer standpoint because neither one of us really have veterinary background,
right?
But I think I look at everything from a standpoint of not that other people don't here, but my initial view is always from the consumer standpoint, from the client standpoint, and how would I want to view content if I was a consumer?
Yeah.
Where
I was definitely a content consumer first before I was a
absolutely. But your job and your profession being first that you're a marketing expert and you're always thinking how do we sell this the right way?
Yeah, right. I'm in it from a business perspective too, and I'm a marketing agent, but I come from the music industry too. So that's why I do all the sound stuff.
right. That's why you're the sound guy. Because without you, there's no podcast, or it would not be as. I don't think it would be as done as well because I couldn't have done all. There's a lot of wires that you guys can't see, and I couldn't do all that. And honestly, I think you're from the entertainment value is where we meet up on that, right? Because you have the music background, and I have whatever I have. I just like being entertaining, and so I think that it'll go well. And then once we have some guests in here, our personalities mend well together, but we also have different approaches in things. I think it's just going to be a really good dynamic.
And instead of contrasting, I think the more appropriate word is supplementary, right?
Ooh, yeah. That's correct, yeah.
We get to 180 degrees together.
Right. And you do that by making sure, I think different views, people always think it's a butting heads thing. It's not. It's sometimes that's exactly what you need is to take both sides and come together for
two broken parts of a whole.
Yeah, exactly. What are your hopes for the podcast?
I hope that I can improve efficiency. This is our first trial run, but honestly, even in our trial run, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
A little bit slapshot, but once we have a system in place and maybe some more dedicated gear, this will be a little easier to set up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that because I don't want it to take too long to set up, because then getting people to want to join in and participate becomes a little bit trickier.
Right.
The barriers to entry is something that is always an issue for getting guests on and things like that. So as long as they just need to come in, sit down, and then start chatting.
Right. Yeah.
So as long as I'm an administrative person, so I do a lot of planning and scaffolding and making sure things are problems are solved before they appear.
Right.
So I'm okay, if we can just make the thing, if we can build it, they will come, right? So that's what I'm hoping, that we can build the
especially with our doctors, they are literally always all busy, and the second they're not, they're like, I gotta go, because I'm sure their brains are scrambled.
Yeah, stop saving this animal and come talk to me on camera for a second.
Yeah, that's
a hard ask.
It's a hard ask for sure. Obviously we're gonna plan things in a way that makes it easiest for them, but it's definitely hard to get, especially the doctors, to kind of even sit down for 10 minutes of an interview or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I've tried before. We've kind of talked about it before, and it's hard to nail down anything.
But they have some really cool things to say. Every now and then, I don't know if you've experienced this, but off camera or without recording, just getting into a conversation with these doctors, sometimes you get into some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I think that's my biggest goal, and what I want to be a biggest takeaway from this podcast is that, and we talked about this the other day, I want to humanize the doctors and the staff and just Guardian as a whole, because it is a business, first and foremost, obviously, and everybody here does care about the client and the patient, and they're very important, but a business doesn't run without being a business and having all the wheels on the bus turning. But I think a lot of times what happens is we just, as clients, consumers, we get lost in that, and we think we're we just view it as a business and not the humans who are in the business that make
Right.
the things happen. And so I want to kind of, what my hope is that we are able to really talk about things that aren't always veterinary, you know, like let's talk about the music our doctors love, or the movies they watch this weekend, or, you know, how their life plays a role in their jobs as veterinarians, you know, at their life outside of being a veterinarian, you know.
And we already make a lot of content, but a lot of it is faced towards the industry. We're talking about cases or ailments or holidays and things
Treatments,
like that.
surgeries,
Right, all
like,
the
things you have to show.
I hate to use the word, but like the very standard things that you have to put on the social media stuff. Like you said, from my perspective as being the marketing guy, the business guy, like that's stuff that you have to have there. You can't not put that content. It's like not having a website. It's silly.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to have one. But yeah, there's other things that we could share with people, with other vets, with the clients that I think they would find interesting about our doctors, about some of the other stuff they got going on, about some of the other projects, like Ricky's glasses thing, or Runge's,
which actually is
like
really
hunting
cool
stuff, like his cool stuff, you know?
Right, yeah. Just things that again, humanize them, or just show their level of passion and commitment to their jobs. Like Ricky's glasses thing, that's so cool. Like I don't know much about I don't know much about it, but what I do know is that is he creating it, or is he just helping kind of mold how they create it? It's like
I'm not
glasses
100% sure.
Essentially help
it's like
you.
Augmented reality.
It is. It's augmented reality where he's in whatever surgery or treatment, doing the thing, and you can view what he's doing, you know, via internet and Zoom, or it's not Zoom, but like similar, and give input, and it's like immediate, and like he can tell you how he's doing a thing, or vice versa. He's doing a surgery and he needs help from a doctor who actually really does some crazy specialization. He just needs like advice on how to do this thing. It's like it's kind of like immediate. Like the doctor can
versus taking a look at a picture or looking at a video,
looking
like
into a book,
live,
going on the
I'm
internet,
actually seeing, and point out, oh, this is the thing.
Right. And a doctor on the other end can be like, oh, hey, do you see that little? Obviously not a doctor, but like, do you see that thing you're working on? That we're gonna move this over and do this thing, and he gets it in live.
Yeah.
You know, and I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the basics of what he explained to me a while ago, that's basically how it works. And it's just like technology in the veterinary world is exponentially growing with the growth of everything else. So it's been cool to even, like you said, just talk to them about the things that they're working on outside of just being a doctor.
And then I wonder who else we can get in here. Some other industry people that we interact with.
Well, I know the ambulance company. It's not coming to my brain right now, but they comment on all of our content. It's a veterinary ambulance. They bring us here all the time.
It's like a taxi, but for your pets to come.
Yeah, but it's actually an ambulance. It's a real ambulance.
Wow.
Yeah, they do everything they need to do to get your pet here so that we can take care of them. Like if your pet got hit by a car and you can't get it here, or your pet is for literally any reason, whatever you call the ambulance, they come, they stabilize the pet until they get it here, and then we take it from there.
Because again, one of those hidden things that a lot of people don't even think about sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing till I came here.
Like transporting your pet like when they're well, is sometimes difficult.
Yes.
Like I have a sling in my back seat for my 14-year-old husky, and that's been working well.
Right.
And then there's less hair; she doesn't like fall into the seats and stuff like that. But yeah, like an animal who's not well, who's not ambulatory, you have to like lift. Some of these dogs are really heavy. Some of these
if you're
are
older,
not super strong.
Right. If you're older, if you can't, you have a even medium-sized dog that you can't pick up and put in your car and they can't get themselves in the car. It's a great service, and I think they commented on something when I posted when we were building the chairs, and they were like, "This is going to be awesome," and I was like, "We got to get you guys in here," and they were all about it. So, and they're already "Yeah, we got you guys." They're already they have great content themselves, so they're comfortable on camera. They're used to being on camera. Like that's the kind of people we want to get in here. Also, it's just like, we don't want to force anybody to be on camera on a podcast if it's not really their thing. I will try to, we'll still try to get at least convince some people to get in here if it's not their thing. But for those who are like ready to go and want to get in here, we'll make a list and have it ready to go, because the idea is to keep this obviously going as long as possible. So.
Yep. DM us, put us in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good plug.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell.
We're really not having trouble as far as from what I see on the content end, since I control or I'm like one of the people who controls the Instagram or most of the social media stuff. From my standpoint, especially on Instagram, we don't have trouble connecting with. Is this leaning away from me? This has slowly been tilting away from me. I don't think we've been having trouble connecting with other people in the vet med industry. And I don't really think we've had a hard time connecting with the clientele. I just think we connect better with people in the medical industry, within the veterinary industry, because they can relate, right? Like when we post the silly videos of like, just like the trending audios or like the this or that's or like stuff like that.
Hospital as the office, right?
Right, literally, yeah. And but I think that the clientele, sometimes it's harder to connect with because we show the surgeries, we show treatments.
I was going to say, sometimes the content we have is a little shocking, a little, not necessarily traumatic, but like maybe triggering for some people.
Triggering is the right word,
We'll avoid on purpose, right? So that doesn't make sense. We have to have a suite of things that it's like, okay, well, this is nothing to do with any of that.
Right.
This is actually just the doctors, right? Here's the heroes, right? Here's our guardian heroes.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
And I think, well, that was kind of the point. It was that like, I think that this will help us connect to the clientele, like to separate it from the surgeries and stuff. And I think there are clients that also think like, wow, this is amazing, like that I get to see, my pet's coming in for a broken leg. Maybe I'm not watching the video of my pet exactly, but I did see that video you posted 6 months ago of another dog who had a broken leg, and now I know exactly how that's going to go.
Yeah.
So there are clients that appreciate it, but it's definitely a smaller percent of people that are like, it's a lot for some people.
Oh yeah, it was like for when I first, a couple of months after getting here, my dog had to get a thyroidectomy to get that removed. So I got to be in the operating room, which is kind of a cool experience. I scrubbed up, got in there. But there's my baby on the table. I can see like her trachea because they're doing like serious surgery. So it's hard because I'm not a medical person.
Right.
But it's also cool. It's like watching Discovery Channel every time I go upstairs.
Right, and I think that was actually, it's funny you said that, because when I first came here, that was like where I got the idea to kind of, or the idea of how I shoot the surgeries was like, I've been watching Animal Planet, Discovery, History Channel. Like, I love all of those since I'm literally like old enough to even understand what a TV was.
Right.
And
like I said, consuming content well before creating, right?
Well before creating, yeah. And is leaning away from me. Yeah, when I came in here, that was kind of like what I sold them on. I was like, I have this idea, and I know it's a little risque because nobody else was really doing it in the industry, or at least nobody that I had seen, which is where that, the thing about me keeping an industry standard up is coming from.
It's new.
It was new for everybody, kind of, to be showing surgeries, especially like full open chest, heart beating in the chest kind of thing. That whole idea of how I shoot everything kind of came just from watching Animal Planet. And like, well, obviously I don't have an entire crew, and like can't be here every second of every day recording everything that happens. It would be nice. Those of you who have entire teams of content creators,
be thankful, okay?
Be thankful, especially the content creators, because this is hard on your own. On your own. I have Albert and I have Tanya and I have people helping me with ideas and things that they want to see happen. But like, when you got to create all this stuff constantly, kind of on your own, it's hard. So if you got a whole team, good for you. We're working on it though.
I would like to take this opportunity to be thankful for Nakoma.
Thank you. We do appreciate a good appreciation. Actually, speaking of, I know we're a little off what I was saying here, but if any client has ever appreciated me to the max, it's Guardian for sure. And I think that's one of our best selling points as an employee, or for me, a contractor here, is that when you do the job right here, the appreciation is like maxed out, or at least it's been my experience. But anyway, going back to what we were saying about like how I was shooting the things, it's like that was like the first idea was like from Animal. I'm gonna let it lean.
Yeah, exactly.
Just lean. Yeah. It all came from like that Animal Planet kind of viewing, and like I always thought that the reason I thought that I loved working behind cameras, and I think I thought I loved the animal part of it. Like when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be a zoologist, marine biologist, something that worked with animals. I think really what I was viewing as a kid was, without knowing before, I loved cameras when I was a kid, but I didn't think that this would ever be my job. think without knowing it, subconsciously, it was like the way it was shot, the way they told the story of wherever they were in the world about this animal that they were searching for and all that. So I kind of try to do that here in short form, which makes it harder.
Right.
And and here we are 4 years later.
Right.
Things are.
I think it was a nature documentary style of filmmaking and things like that. It's you get to see things that you normally don't get to see. Right?
Yeah, right.
Like the rare snow leopards and stuff like that. It's like
Right.
like most human beings don't get
95% of people will
get
never
their
see that.
eyes on this thing, right? So that's kind of the cool a lens, if you will, pun intended, into a hidden place.
Right.
And that's what you get to be able to do. So just like we were talking about with the vets, we already demonstrate and show a lot of the medical forward part of things.
Right.
But one of the reasons, like, Berg founded Guardian in the first place was, like, to focus on the people behind all of this.
Right. The people taking care of the pets. Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of just condensing down to, production value, profits and numbers and things like that.
Berg is really, everybody has to make money. Everybody loves money.
Right.
Everybody likes to have a good fat wallet, But Berg is, you hear from, I'm sure, a lot of CEOs and people who own hospitals and whatever, that the patient comes first. But Berg is so, like, the patient should come first, forget the money. Like, it's, obviously,
I've
like
also
I said,
never seen an owner, like, work with his hands so hard. Like,
yeah, right, yeah.
like,
The man works.
working.
Yeah, the man
It's pretty
never.
impressive.
I mean, we were at New York Vet where he could have just been hanging out and talking to people, and he was on the computer, reading CTs.
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
like, I have a
You're
video
still
of it,
working,
and I'm
dude.
like, are you working right now? Like, and he, with a smile, he was like, oh yeah, just like checking in real quick. I'm like, the man just doesn't stop working. Even from what I've been told about him on vacation, he's like on the beach, like, reading
Checking the
emails,
scanners.
checking in and everything. And I guess that's what makes a good CEO,
Right.
Like, I'll never own anything this big. I know that for sure, but I also know that I don't have the capacity for it.
Well, they say you got to love what you do, right? And then it becomes less work. So that's pretty cool. This is the stuff we get to do.
Right. Yeah, this is what I get to do. This is crazy. Yeah. And I also, like, and I just had this conversation with Berg on Wednesday because we went to the Wolf Preserve, and me and him were there first, and we were just kind of chit-chatting, and we were talking about how, like, I don't know how we even got on the discussion, but we were talking about how, like, you can absolutely love your job and still hate 10 days out of the 30 days you're working. That's normal to come and sometimes not want to come to work even when you love what you're doing. But I think Berg, he's got it right. The dude loves what he does. He loves to work. He just loves to be here. And like, when you see him running around, I swear it's like the days he's less busy are the days that I find him in, like, not as good of a mood. Yeah. If he's got nothing to do, I feel like he feels like he needs to fill that space.
I need to do something.
Yeah, and so when he's busy and he's seeing client after client after client, he just, like, doesn't take a break between them. Like, he's smiling, he's walking around making jokes, he's keeping everybody going. It's like, it's good to have a CEO who's so involved and works. He does the work that he expects from people,
Right.
And that's the part that
Right.
I love. Like,
there's a difference between a leader, right, and a boss.
right? He's a good leader. Yeah. He's crazy. He's definitely crazy.
I don't know where the hell he's leading us.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going, but I trust him. I'll trust him to get us there.
It's gonna be an adventure either way, dude. It's gonna be a fun adventure.
Right. Yeah. It's been my experience here has been great. So
that's again the parts of these people that are not just the vet part, but, like, that's the heart behind them. So
right.
Hopefully, going back to that first question, hopefully this project will allow us to show the heart of these people to everyone out there who only gets to see their professional part.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to touch on that's Guardian related before we call this trial run? And this was, honestly, I think this was great.
Is great.
Yeah,
this is great.
And we flowed nicely.
We're gonna see how this looks, how this sounds. Snap it together. This is episode 0.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say episode 1, and I was going to say, is it though? And then you said 0. It's perfect. This is episode 0 for sure. We actually had we tried to do a trial run last week. Didn't work out. We didn't have everything we needed. But second time around, we're killing it. Feels like it's just going to get better as we go. And all this we're going to try to straighten some of this up. We just really wanted to kind of get one in the books, see how it goes, see how it sounds, see how it looks.
Thank you for joining us at Two Broken G's.
Two Broken G's. Yeah, we'll have maybe a name by next time. We don't know. But yeah, if you guys, nope. I'm not good on the end.
We can edit that out.
Yeah. Make sure you guys are, following. Nope. I don't like that. I don't like
Like,
how it felt.
comment, subscribe.
Like, comment,
RSS
subscribe.
feed. Ring that bell.
Ring the bell.
Share. Add me as a friend. Put me on your top 8. All right.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining, guys.